I lived quietly on my family's rural land, passed down through 3 generations. It was peaceful, just woods, hills, and the lake behind my cabin. One morning, I returned from a short business trip, and to my disbelief, a giant structure was rising just past my tree line. It wasn't some shed or hunting cabin. It was a full-blown mansion. Workers buzzed around. Cement trucks were backed in. I thought I was dreaming. When I approached, a contractor told me it was HOA approved. HOA? Out here? There was no HOA in this region, or so I thought. I made some calls, and that's when I first heard her name, Linda Corbin, HOA President of the newly formed Winding Hills Lakeside Association. I found out Linda was a real estate developer turned HOA dictator. She had bought 20 acres nearby, started a housing development, and claimed she was building a model home to attract buyers. But Linda wasn't just building a model home. She was building her dream mansion, complete with a private dock, 3-car garage, and gated entry. The kicker? The entire western wing of her property, and half the lake access, was on my legally surveyed land, I confronted her in person. She brushed me off like I was a dog barking at her gate. "Oh, you'll get used to the changes. It's all being rezoned anyway," she smirked. I realized then, this wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a hostile takeover. I spent the next 2 weeks in my basement office, combing through records. Deed books. Topography maps. County filings. And that's when I found gold, the 1979 survey line, signed and filed by my grandfather, that clearly showed Linda's mansion overlapping my land by over 2.3 acres. Even worse for her. She had altered her blueprints during construction to extend her property, never submitting updated filings to the county. I had the proof, clear as day. I tried one last time to settle it quietly. Her lawyer responded with a cease and desist letter, claiming I was trespassing on her land. Game on. I filed suit. Not just for trespass, but for land theft, damages, and willful fraud. Linda laughed when she got the notice. She even posted about it in her HOA newsletter, calling me a local lunatic trying to scam the association. But court doesn't care about gossip. My attorney brought the full weight of 40 years of land surveys, utility access records, and drone footage that showed her mansion encroaching deep into my land. Her team stumbled. They brought in a private surveyor, but under oath, he admitted Linda forced him to ignore boundary markers. The judge grew visibly angry. By the second week, her smirk was gone. Her lawyer tried to settle, but I wasn't interested in half measures anymore. It took 3 weeks. The verdict? I was the legal owner of the land, and she had built without permission. The court ordered her mansion partially demolished, and the rest vacated until further resolution. On top of that, Linda was hit with $890,000 in damages, court fees, and a fraud investigation for falsified HOA documents. The HOA board turned against her almost overnight. She lost her title, her investors pulled out, and her reputation in the community was toast. The sheriff showed up 2 days later to enforce the order. Watching her storm out of that mansion, screaming about injustice, was poetic justice. It took months, but I reclaimed the land. I had the debris cleared, restored the shoreline, and fenced the original survey boundaries. I even planted a row of oak trees where the mansion once stood, nature reclaiming what was stolen. As for Linda, she filed for bankruptcy and left town. Her mansion was eventually sold at auction in pieces. The HOA? It collapsed under the weight of lawsuits from angry homeowners who realized they had been duped too. Many of them apologized to me personally. Some even offered to buy parts of my land. Needless to say, I declined. Now, I live in peace again. My family's land is secure, and I built a new cabin that overlooks the very spot where Linda's illegal mansion once stood. I keep the court order framed above my fireplace as a reminder, don't ever let anyone take what's yours. The story spread far beyond our small town. Local news covered it. A land rights group reached out to feature the case. And to this day, whenever someone drives down Winding Hills Road, they see the plaque I installed at the tree line. Asterisk, here stood the house of a thief. Justice bulldozed it. Asterisk. Because in the end, I took back everything she tried to steal.